Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Comes a time when literally every United States president has his first come-to-Jesus moment in office and finally wakes up to his need to finally do something for his constituents and his nation. That time appears to be now for one Donald J. Trump. From everything this puppet can see of late, allow me to extrapolate, please. First, on March 5th of this year, we see where the president relieved Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem from her duties within his cabinet. In standard form, the president did not elaborate at the time of her dismissal as to the reasoning for it, but there are reputable sources that have stated that it was largely due to two dishonest interviews she gave to the Congress only 2 days prior. It seems the Senate Judiciary Committee was concerned about an expensive ad campaign that Secretary Noem had planned and arranged to urge illegal trespassers on American soil to self-deport. The ads prominently featured Noem on a horse in front of Mount Rushmore in her native state of South Dakota. Reportedly, tens of thousands of dollars went to rent and care for the horses used in the ads, along with a special wardrobe and makeup budget for Noem as well. Needless to say, the Congress was not pleased and decided to grill the DHS Secretary about her role in the actual expenses incurred. In the course of the Senate Judiciary hearing, Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana directly asked Noem, "How do you square that with the fact that you've spent $220 million running television advertisements that feature you prominently?" To which the DHS Secretary answered, "Sir, the President tasked me with getting the message out to the country and to other countries with putting commercials out that if they were in the country illegally, that they needed to leave." So, my viewers, Kristi Noem essentially decided to rev up the bus and back it over the President himself, and dishonestly so at that. She was alluding to the supposed fact that Trump had given his seal of approval to wasting $220 million in tax money on a commercial campaign that, for all intents and purposes, appeared to be designed to showcase Mrs. Noem rather than its supposed purpose of encouraging illegals to get out ASAP. Needless to say, the president never greenlighted the project, as she was alluding to. The final straw came only 1 day later when the House Oversight Committee had a hearing in which Noem was asked point blank if she had ever slept with DHS aide Corey Lewandowski, who also happens to be Trump's former campaign manager. Representative Sidney Kamlager-Dove of California asked Noem directly, "Have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?" She was quick to dismiss the question as tabloid garbage, while also cleverly ducking an answer to the question itself. Trump was already aware of Noem's relationship with Lewandowski, but viewed her handling of the affair question as a disaster for her already crumbling credibility, inside sources close to the White House have said. Only 1 day later, on Thursday, March 5th, he announced that she was leaving her post at DHS and would be replaced by Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma. Now, friends and colleagues, suffice it to say that this took a lot of people by surprise, but allow this puppet to also say that this is a prime example of why I purposely do not back a single political party. There are unfortunately corrupt players on both sides of the aisle. I know that may strike some as shocking, but take off your rose-colored glasses and look around and it will quickly become obvious. Then, aunts and uncles, we have what nobody in this puppet's circle saw coming: the abrupt firing of Attorney General Pam Bondi on April 2nd of this year. Shocking to say the least, especially considering Trump's previously reported penchant for blonde eye candy. While all of us could plainly see her many gaffes, incomprehensibly, DJT stood firmly by her side, including the now infamous cabinet meeting tirade he went on where he acted incredulous that anyone still cared about the mountain of Epstein evidence that was still unreleased. In fact, my viewers, that is the time period when this puppet lost all respect for the president, as he followed up with the now infamous Truth Social post whereby he claimed that all Epstein evidence was merely, quote, "their new scam is that we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax," falsely claiming Democrats had made the entire thing up, along with going on to say of his loyal MAGA supporters, quote, "My past supporters have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years." Followed up by, quote, "Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore," unquote. So only after both houses of Congress forced the president's hand by almost unanimously demanding the release of all Epstein evidence pronto, did Trump's DOJ and Bondi finally decide to release the files, although it is still a travesty since they were heavily redacted documents and not mainly the victims either. No, in fact, they were almost redacted by the Three Stooges, it appears, as many victims' names were in fact left unredacted, all while purposely hiding the names of many very wealthy visitors to the now infamous island. Yes, folks, if there were a project she could mishandle, Pam Bondi was apparently the woman for the task. In fact, it now seems apparent that Trump fired her, at least partially, because of her failure to prosecute even one of the many perpetrators of the Obama and Biden administrations who ran the Russiagate conspiracy and the massive lawfare schemes against him. Additionally, Trump is miffed because he believed that Bondi shared information with California governor candidate Eric Swalwell about the FBI's efforts to share information about his relationship with alleged Chinese spy Christine Fang. This was apparently driven by Bondi's personal friendship with Swalwell. So, friends and neighbors, we now have Trump firing two of his pieces of eye candy, or cabinet members, in the past month. What do we make of all of this? Well, we do have midterm elections for U.S. Congress in only 7 short months. Quite possibly, the president is ultra concerned about the many MAGA supporters he made mad with his Truth Social comments, along with the fact that so many of the expected prosecutions of everyone from Adam Schiff to Barack Obama to the myriad auto pen abusers of the Biden crime spree have never materialized. Voters are very aware of the promises and the actual results. So far, there is a great discrepancy between the two, and Trump may be getting antsy about the upcoming election. After all, folks, he now has less than 3 years left to accomplish much of what he envisioned in 2015 when he decided to run for president, and the clock is quickly ticking down. So did Trump give his life to the Savior during his come to Jesus moment? Only time will tell, folks. Only time will tell. Good night, my loyal viewers, and sleep well.